been.
We have to look at
I
that.
wish it would have been.
Good evening and welcome to the Village of Westmont official voting board meeting for June 21st, 2010. I'd like to call upon our clerk to please take the roll call.
Mayor Ron.
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Emery.
Here.
Trustee Fleming is on vacation. Trustee Forsley.
Here.
Through electronic transmission, Trustee Klebanow.
Present.
Trustee Scott.
Here.
Trustee Seneca.
Here.
Okay.
Manager Searle.
Here.
Attorney Zemanek.
Is here.
He was caught by the track, so. Police Chief Mulhern.
Here.
Deputy Police Chief King.
Here.
Fire Chief Trout.
Here.
Deputy Police Chief and Deputy Liquor Commissioner Gunter.
Here.
Economic Development Director and Assistant Manager Kimball.
Here.
Oh, I'm sorry, and Fire Chief Trout. Fire Chief Trout is here.
Finished?
I'm finished.
Thank you. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda are the minutes of the committee, the whole meeting held June 3rd and board meeting held June 7th, 2010.
Motion to approve. Second.
Discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call, please.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Forsley.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Our reports. I have nothing to report other than the Taste of Westmont will begin in what, in two weeks? 2 weeks from
This weekend.
this weekend, 2 weeks from Friday or 2 weeks from Thursday?
2 weeks from
2
Thursday.
weeks from this Thursday, so just to let everybody here and everybody watching to make sure they get that on your calendars. A lot of people are looking forward to it. Pardon me?
Squad car night, Thursday.
And then also this Thursday is squad car night. And last Thursday, our police chief got up and said a few words. I don't know if he wants to repeat those words, but it's a very exciting night. And luckily, we don't have any board meeting that night, so we will all be able to be there as well.
We're hoping, so the weather forecast is holding out so far, 87, no rain. It's the only day of the week, no rain. And the new update is 45 squad cars, up from 39 from Thursday.
Wow.
And well over 60 officers in attendance. We have a junior college sending an officer. Orland Park called today. We have officers coming as far as Zion is coming down as well now. So they're still rolling in, and if everybody can, come on out, starting at 6 o'clock at Burlington and Cass. And the famous lights and siren parade will start at 9 o'clock from Burlington Cass, go up to Naperville Road, turn around and come right back down. So if everybody could come out and visit with your police department.
Very good, thank you.
Excellent.
It's a wonderful occasion, not only to visit with our police department, but the representatives from all the other police forces in the area that do come down every year. And I think this year is going to be a great turnout from other villages. So thank you, Tom, for all your work on that. And that is all that I have. Next, our village clerk.
I really have nothing tonight, thank you.
Our village attorney, John Zemanek.
I have nothing tonight, thanks.
Manager, Ron Searle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Two things. When we were working through some of the mechanics for tonight's electronic attendance with Trustee Klebanow, this afternoon she brought to my attention in the finance ordinance, there's a summary report. There is a column in there that says paid this fiscal year for each vendor. Those numbers appear to be last year's numbers and not the current year's numbers. Doesn't affect the finance ordinance total, doesn't affect any of the checks, doesn't affect payroll. It's just an informational column, but I wanted to bring that to the board's attention, and we're going to be checking with our software vendor tomorrow to try to find out what happened to cause that. So I wanted to bring that to the board's attention. The other thing I wanted to mention is as we all know, we had a pretty significant storm roll through on Friday. And as a result of that, we are doing a special brush pickup. There is information on our website. And the brush pickup is currently proceeding as it's scheduled, which is the south side of town. But then they're going to flip around and do the north side again because we know we had quite a bit of damage in various parts of the community, a lot of limbs that were knocked down. It was a highly unusual afternoon, Friday afternoon. They were predicting, winds of up to 80 miles an hour. So it was a pretty significant storm that rolled through. It's bad. So I just wanted to mention that information.
Okay. Thank you. Unfinished business, 209 East Ogden Avenue, Lamborghini Lotus. Board to consider an ordinance amending the special use permit issued in 2004 to permit the parking of up to 10 vehicles in the front yard setback.
Motion to approve, Emery?
Second, Scott.
Discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Okay. New business, West Hills Community Church, 213 East 55th Street. Board to consider a motion approving a request from West Hills Community Church to host a 70s and 80s outdoor rock music concert on a Saturday night in late July or August 2010. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve, Seneca?
Second, Forsley.
Discussion?
It was supposed to be a Saturday afternoon,
Right.
not a Saturday night, so.
So the agenda item is, it's really the afternoon.
Right.
Okay.
No.
And did they come back with any alternate date, like Trustee Fleming suggested? Do we know? In case it rains and they want to do it a different time?
I'm sure when they set their date, because they haven't actually set it yet, they'll set their alternate.
Okay.
But they're still going with late July or August, so.
Great, good.
Okay. Excellent.
So they got to come into the clerk's office too. Fill out an
Give us the
application.
information here.
Okay. Any other questions? And also, they told us that they have talked to the residents in the area, given them a phone number that they can contact if there's any problem. Our police department asked also for a phone number that they could contact them should there also be any complaints regarding that activity. With that being said, no more questions. Roll call, please.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
Next item, Flapjacks Incorporated, DBA Emmy's Family Dining liquor license. Board to consider an ordinance reducing the number of Class 4 liquor licenses by one and subsequently increasing the number of Class 4 licenses by one to accommodate a change in ownership of Emmy's Family Dining at 200 West Ogden.
Motion to approve, Scott.
Second, Emery?
Discussion?
Can I, and not so much on this as much as, but it has to do with Emmys. They didn't have any electricity for like 2 days. Has anybody checked into that for them? We went there yesterday for breakfast, and they were closed because no electricity. And they said they were out on Saturday, they were out yesterday, and I heard they were out still last night. And we drove past today, and the lot was empty, so I don't know if they're, so, I don't know if that's something.
Check tomorrow, I would know.
Probably nobody knew, but
Right.
I just thought I'd bring it up.
Good.
So you went there, were they open or closed?
They were closed. We went there for Father's Day
Yeah,
in the morning for
okay.
breakfast, and they were closed, so that, they lost all that business. As they said, and they said they were out on Saturday also. So,
There's
from the
another-
storm.
There was another issue in another part of town that actually I talked with Chief Trout about today that I'm going to be following up with Commonwealth Edison, so I'll make sure I talk to them about that as well.
Thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Okay. Class 16 liquor license, bring your own bottle, BYOB. Board to consider an ordinance creating a new liquor license classification permitting the practice of a customer bringing their own bottle of alcohol, BYOB, into a licensed premise.
Motion approved, Scott.
Second, Emery.
Discussion?
I just want to make sure it says own bottle of alcohol, that right now we're limited to wine.
Yes.
And I have a couple of questions on this, if I may. I take it that the restaurants who hold the class 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8, they just need permission? They don't need to pay the $300?
Yes, they need to pay the $300, and they need to be actually issued a Class 16 liquor license. So they need to apply just like any other applicant, but they don't have to go through the background check again, which is a $1,200 fee. But they do
Well, that
have
was
to
my
pay
other
the,
question. If the class 16, they're going to have to go through background check, and we're only charging $300. And I was very concerned about the, who's eating the bill on that one.
Can someone interpret?
Yes, she said that if it's somebody that just wants a class 16, don't they have to have a background check for an additional $1,200? So she said, who's going to eat the bill on that one?
They have to pay the $1,200 application fee. I'm sorry, it's $1,500 for the application, which covers the police department's time in doing the extensive background check. They have to pay the $300 initial license fee. However, what we're doing is crediting that $300 initial license fee against their $1,500 application and background check.
Okay, so they're going to pay more than the $300 is what I'm asking then, because I didn't really notice in any of the ordinance explaining it, just talked about a $300.
Yes, they're going to pay more than $300, because $300 will be like the annual renewal, right, for their license?
Correct.
But the initial one will be 15 less their, the 3 will be credited against that $1,500 background check.
And Trustee Klebanow, I did clarify since Thursday night in the ordinance, it's hard, it's subsection C, the first subsection C, it does state that if approved, the $300 initial license fee shall be credited from the application fee. And then below that, it talks about how they have to proceed through the application process, along with just like any other liquor license holder.
Okay, so we will at least won't be losing some money on that then. I just have a question then for the BYOB.
Pat,
right
hang on
now-
a second. Can you turn up the volume in the booth, please? Because we're having trouble hearing Trustee Klebanow.
Oh, I can try to bring up my voice. I'm just hearing an echo on my end.
Okay. We can
So
hear you.
the bring your own bottle. Now, if you're in a regular restaurant that serves, whether it's a class 1, 2, 3 where they can serve wine, they can serve their own bottle of wine, correct?
Yes.
I mean, if they can buy it by the glass or the bottle. And there's no time on that. And yet on this one here, we've set a time of 5 o'clock. And I just don't know how you distinguish whether someone came in at 4 o'clock, maybe 4 people, and ordered a bottle of wine, and then if somebody's doing a checkup on the restaurant and see a bottle of wine there, now they have to clarify, the cop or whoever's doing the check has to clarify whether it's bring your own bottle that shouldn't start till 5 o'clock.
So what you're saying is for the BYOB, there should not be a time restriction on it?
Well, it
should
just seems
match the-
weird that, we don't have one on, if they purchase the bottle directly through the restaurant. So I don't understand. I mean, it just seems weird. The same thing for, you show the age in there, I believe it's E1 or something. You talk about being over the age of 21. But when I was glancing through all the liquor licenses that you had attached, nowhere do we even discuss the drinking age. I guess it was considered automatic, and it just seemed like it just stuck out. Why did we put age 21 when it's bring your own bottle, when it's got to be that age no matter what liquor you're drinking? These are just things that stuck out on me.
Pat, there are so many possibilities for exceptions to this ordinance modification, and I had mentioned to the attorney that we go back in 6 months and review it to correct any difficulties that we may incur. But it's almost impossible to try to anticipate every single circumstance that could possibly be, that could possibly arise with adding this to the license. The staff has spent a lot of time researching it, looking at other villages, and I believe the final outcome is that these other villages that have the ordinance have had little or no problems with it. But if we do hear of any problems, if I'm aware of any problems, or any of the other elected officials, we will certainly go back and make sure that those are corrected down the line by going back and reviewing this section again.
Well, my
with
problem
regard
is
to
just
the age,
the writing, the way it's written, not so much the contents of it, but the way it's written kind of bothered me on the language,
across
not
the board,
contents.
the legal drinking age is 21. That's across the board anywhere in the state. So
Right.
yes, it's
So
a little
why put it in
redundant.
here?
It's redundant to have it in the ordinance, but I certainly don't see any issue with it or problem because.
Well, it's just that it seems like it's inconsistent to the rest of the ordinance. That's what I'm saying. There's an inconsistency there. And, it's just bothered me where it's known that you have to be 21 or over, and if you don't put it in there,
redundant.
should Illinois change their drinking age, now you have to go back and change it, where if you leave it like the rest of your ordinance, you wouldn't have to go back and change it.
I think it's okay as is. If we're going to change to 25 or 17, we'll be doing a lot of changes around here.
Any other comments?
I did, in the definition of BYOB, include the quantity. I defined what a bottle of wine was at 750 milliliters or less is the maximum that one patron can bring into the restaurant and consume at a time.
Okay.
But we don't have that in the other ordinances.
Well, because they don't bring it in.
Right, exactly. But it doesn't make any difference at that point.
Right.
Right. If a place like Amber sells wine, someone could conceivably come in with their bottle, drink that, and then order more wine off the menu. It's Amber's responsibility to make sure their patrons aren't overserved, and they would get ticketed if they do that.
I'm not so much worried about the age because I think it's erring on the side of caution instead, because we're just reinstating what we already know. If we hadn't put it in there, or if all the rest of them had it and didn't have the 21 in there, maybe an argument for it, but I could live with the way it is.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? And you have the review in there for 6 months?
I do.
Okay. Unless there are any other comments, roll call, please.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Forsley.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
No.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Next item, 218 North Cass, Marco Tanbour Hair Salon. Board to consider ordinances approving the following requests. A, special use permit request to operate a ground floor beauty parlor in the B1 Limited Business District. And B, development permit request to operate a ground floor beauty parlor in the B1 Limited Business District. We have a motion on point A.
Motion to approve, Seneca.
Second, Scott.
Discussion?
Just that I did add to the ordinance that no building permit shall issue and no construction shall commence for exterior repairs, including signs, until the plans have been reviewed and approved by the village board.
Perfect.
That was your direction, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
I did call Fred this afternoon and talked with Fred and Shannon on this. I do have some concerns that he mentioned he didn't think he was going to have electrical, and I do think he's probably going to have electrical permit as well, and I just want him to, make sure he's totally aware that, of some of the expenses. He may have to have some kind of a plan drawn up, because a S station usually has electrical to the station, which would be in the middle of that room. So besides lighting, besides the wall he's going to put up, will probably require by code an outlet in there. So I do think he better be prepared for electrical.
Fred, this still means everything is going to be according to code, bathrooms, you know, because like even the dance studio, we saw all the plans that she was going to have to follow. So this is no waivers, no guarantees or anything. It's all got to meet
Yes, ma'am.
Code that we normally see drawn out.
Absolutely, and Trustee Klebenau's point is well-founded. Until we see the plans for the remodeling, we won't be able to make the determination whether or not an electrical permit is required, although we certainly expect that one will be. You know, normal beauty salon remodeling would probably require some electrical rewiring.
And same with plumbing, too, I would assume.
Okay, good.
All right.
Got it.
Any other questions at point A?
No.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Okay. Point B,
Motion to approve, Emery?
Second, Forsley?
discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Traffic restrictions, Westview Hills Middle School. Board to consider an ordinance establishing traffic restrictions at Westview Hills Middle School.
Motion to approve, Emery?
Second, Scott.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Together.
Yes.
Together, okay. Next item, calendar newsletter. Board to consider a motion approving the following changes pertaining to the production and distribution of the village calendars and the newsletters. We can vote on all these together. And that being the case, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve as a block and waive the reading.
Second, Seneca?
Discussion?
We all got an email from Larry McIntyre, I hope. And then I think, Ron, you put it on our table here. And I told him I would bring it up because he was asking, because this went through admin and finance. He called me and was asking about this current newsletter. And as you've read it here, there's for the public's knowledge, the current newsletter he has completed, and he was asking, do I not send it out and wait? And my question was, well, when would you get the first one out if we do it through, you know, like this, through the water billing? He said probably not till August. And we'd like to get the newsletter. I told him I'd like to get a newsletter out so it has the taste on there, and it has, you know, some of the events that we have, the 4th of July, and those kind of things. So my suggestion to him was, let's send this one out as we've done in the past. And then put in there too, and he suggested to put in there that newsletter that from now on, this is how this will be, you know, every couple months in the water bill. And so, but I told him I'd bring it up because I didn't want to be the only one to tell him that without getting the input from the board, and then I get it back to him. So what do you think? Is that okay?
I think it's a good idea.
Suggestion.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problems with that. The one thing that worried me when I read it, though, it didn't dawn on me how part of the village will get the newsletter 1 month, and then a month later, the rest of it would get it. And it kind of seems weird that somebody might miss some stuff that's in the newsletter. You know, it might get to them the second billing too late. But unless somebody has a better idea, I have no idea.
Well, I think the fact that we'll be doing it on a regular basis will allow us to schedule things and be able to get the information out ahead of time, because it'll be going out automatically. So I think we'll be able to anticipate that.
And more
So
often.
he'll
too,
have to
isn't it?
use the
More often,
second
right.
billing as his deadline date, not the first billing then, huh?
Sorry.
Say that again, Pat?
He would have to think of when the newsletter goes out, he's got to think of the people who are the last to get it to
Correct.
make sure that, you know, that's kind of use that as
Right.
his target
Well-
date, yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
you would have to anticipate that and work backwards from that.
Definitely.
anticipated delivery.
And, you know, we've talked about having the calendar. We have copies of the newsletter. Maybe, you know, make a copy, put them down at the desk down here, and maybe at the library a copy or something in the park. You know, just a few places. That way, if people want, they can pick it up and.
Well, that'll
Right.
especially be the case for people that live in condominiums and apartment buildings because they don't get a water bill.
Right.
So that'll be their only vehicle to even get a newsletter, would be to pick it up or have us, deliver it or whatever.
Would it be possible for, and it probably won't, but one thought of mine was the new people coming into town, would it be possible for the water department, when they turn on their water for new clients or new residents, that they could drop off a calendar at that time so the people right away, whether it's July or September, know what's going on in the village?
Well, they usually come in to set up their water billing in the clerk's office, and we always give them a calendar.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Ready? Finance ordinance number 4.
We have before us on this 21st day of June 2010, a finance ordinance in the amount of $859,858.35.
Motion to approve Seneca?
Second, Forsley?
Discussion?
The one discussion when I talked with Ron, I think you need to go back and look at finance ordinance too, because the problem looks like it's back there too. So I don't think it just happened on this particular finance ordinance.
Right, we'll be looking at that again on this summary report to make sure that if that information was not accurate, we will go back in the file, make sure the official file copies have some reflection of the accurate information.
Okay, are we going to find some way of a disclaimer or something?
Correct. We'll put something with the official file copy.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
First set of purchase orders, number 10.
Motion to approve the first set of purchase orders as a block for $41,166.84.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Second set of purchase orders.
And again, motion to approve the second set of purchase order as a block for $144,855.76.
Again, second.
Discussion?
Just for people watching at home, it says purchase to replace auto used in detective division. It's not a Charger, it's a Taurus.
And these are all budgeted,
Correct.
part of, okay.
Yes.
Anything further? Roll call.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Oh, God. Yes.
Trustee Scott?
We do not have a request before us this evening for an executive session. So unless there's some further discussion from the board, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Emery?
Second, Scott.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Forsley?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.